like to focus on a couple sustainability projects that have been underway for a while. One update, I'm really pleased to report, we got proposals from PSE&G's direct install program to do energy upgrade in all the borough buildings. And the way it works out, that the cost that we bear, the 30%, 70% is covered by the program, the 30% that the borough would have to come up with, the costs of to the borough will be basically covered by the savings over the 3-year period, and we can finance that through our utility bills during that time. So I'm very excited that basically one of the resolutions on the consent agenda tonight is to authorize me to execute those agreements on that program. So I'm really excited that we can do that at no cost to the borough initially, and then after that 3-year period, we'll see a considerable energy savings.
That's great news.
So that's something that's been on the to-do list for a while, and I'm really excited about. And the other one, a little lighter lift, but one I'm also excited about. If you go, eventually when you go downstairs, but if you go to the community center, you go to Public Works and a couple other borough buildings, we now have water filling stations at our water fountains, which I know seems like a minor thing, but is actually something I'm very excited to be able to do, and they're filtered water. So look for that. The one downstairs, we need one part, and then you'll see the one down there ready to go. So anyway, those are my 2 updates.
Thank you. Brian, apparently the county purchased the Edgeboro landfill and has just dedicated, I believe he said, $18 million to repair the capping over the gases at the Edgeboro landfill. What you were smelling were the smell of gas being released from the landfill, and occasionally the winds will carry it across the Raritan to us. I understand it was very strong while I was gone, and the first time that I had complaints about it from people who live on the north side of town, the borough administrator was also smelling the odor where she lives. So I wanted to let everyone know that the county is planning on addressing this. They will be also monitoring the odors in Highland Park as time goes on. All right. Yeah, if you can see it.
And some of these are by a certain date because I haven't scheduled the interview date yet. But so yes, oral exams are complete. The essay exam was issued last week. And they're given, I believe, until the 4th of March to complete their essay exams and get them submitted, after which they'll be scored by the State Chiefs Association, as well as reviewed by all those who will be in the interview process. And then as a deadline date, by the 15th of March, the goal is to have had the interviews with the Public Safety Committee and the mayor. And then hopefully by the 19th of March council meeting, that the mayor and Public Safety Committee are presenting their recommendations to the rest of the council members as to who the selection should be. And then we have to negotiate terms of employment and all that fun stuff. And then goal would be by the April 2nd council meeting to have the acting chiefs and captains sworn in.
It's, at the meeting on the 6th, there was about 100 people at the meeting, and we broke into focus groups or small groups and generated about 100 questions that would like to be asked of the candidates. So the Equity Commission is in the process right now of prioritizing, consolidating, and putting together a solid list of those questions.
And what progress has been made towards having members of the Equity Committee or other members of the public either participating in or being able to be present for at least part of that final interview process?
So
I was not at the meeting on the 6th. I understand our labor attorney was there who explained the process. He and I have consulted. We've taken a look at the statute, and we've also taken a look at the employment processes that are normally followed here in the borough. And we've concluded that under the Title 40A, which is the statute which is dictating how the governing body moves ahead, that individual members of the public will not participate in the interview process, nor be present when the interview process takes place. There's nothing provided for in the statute. If the legislature wanted that to happen, I'm sure that would have been included. It was not. But more importantly, it's really a personnel decision that the governing body will make. Questions will be or could be asked about the personal history file of the 3 candidates that remain, or the 4 candidates. And when somebody starts to talk about their personal history file and questions related to that, that would not be appropriate for a member of the public to be present. They don't have access to that. Only members of the governing body do. So we have advised the governing body, that is Art and I, that there will not be an opportunity for individuals to be present at the interview process. That'll be conducted by the Public Safety Committee.
My specific thing I want to ask about first here, along those lines, is this mentor that keeps getting brought up as like, well, don't worry, there's going to be input into this mentor. But the thing is, every time we discuss this mentor, it's always brought up that we're going to pick from the whatever it is, the New Jersey police chiefs, so whatever the group is, that they're gonna provide candidates for this. Mm-hmm. Do you see why that's the problem, though? We're not asking for a police department that works more efficiently, that does a better job at policing. We're looking for something that operates differently from that, and selecting from the pool of people that have, over the last 2 or 3 decades, established how policing works to train the next person. That's the problem.
Differently.
Have you looked?
The mentor position is someone to help guide a new police chief in the day-to-day police requirements. Okay, we as a council, we can't advise a new police chief on what the Attorney General's office is going to be looking for and that sort of thing. But so that's a different thing. We need to have the mentor, okay? But it doesn't mean we don't also perhaps want to get somebody involved who can be more of a training, racial bias kind of person to work with the police department on a regular basis.
Is that an idea you're throwing out off the cuff right now, or are there actual plans to have like a civil rights attorney on staff as a consultant?
Well, I don't know if I would go with civil rights attorney, but yeah. It's just somebody who's professionally can do this.
How will we, the public, know which, if any, questions from that meeting are asked at the interviews and what the responses were to those questions?
I will tell the Highland Park Equity Commission what questions were asked and what the responses were.
Okay, that's the kind of answer I like.
Anything like that. So we generally are quiet and we sit here, we listen, we take notes, we bring it back to the rest of the administration, and we talk about these things. We do. You might think we don't. We do. We watch the television part, and we try to figure out how we can change things. The police department is open 24 hours a day. If you want to talk to a cop and just chat, walk in there. I guarantee you somebody would love to just sit down for 10 minutes, take a load off, sit across the table with you, and chat. No problem. There's certain things we can and can't get into. There's certain things we are not allowed to say when we're wearing this uniform. So it might not be as fulfilling as you want all the time, but they're good cops. They're good people. Walk in, say hi.